Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. We're going to be talking about our good friend Handsy Andy this morning. The good old Randy Prince from England. The man who has been disgraced, the liar, the moron, the doddering fool. Let me introduce everybody to the George Bush Jr. of the Windsor family. So, Prince Andrew, as we all know, we've been following this very closely. Prince Andrew has been utterly disgraced over this whole entire situation, and deservedly so. He cannot go anywhere in England at this point without the British media going bananas on him. And not only the British media, but the actual population as well. And I have to say, it's good to see. It's good to see as someone like Prince Andrew, who was involved in this and who was covered for so long and protected for so long, finally get a little taste of what it's like to live in disgrace like these poor girls have had to live their whole lives. Just a little taste. And if we go nowhere else from here with Prince Andrew, at the very least, he is disgraced. At the very least, he is out of public life. At the very least. But we're not satisfied with that. Oh, no. He needs to talk. Prince Andrew needs to be on record. He needs to be subpoenaed. He needs to sit down with investigators, and he needs to tell the investigators exactly what he knew, when he knew it, and where it all occurred. Because he has the goods, right? He spent plenty of time with Jeffrey Epstein and that evil, vile woman, Ghislaine Maxwell. Plenty of time with the two of them. So don't tell me that Prince Andrew isn't a material witness, or that it's immaterial that Prince Andrew slept with a young girl, like the judge said. No, not immaterial at all. When you look at everything in context and you take it all in context, well, it paints a very bleak and stark picture of depravity, okay? And for any judge, any prosecutor, any law enforcement agent not to listen to these girls and give them a fair shake and to stand up for these girls, well, that's on you. You have to live with that for the rest of your life. You have to wake up in the morning and look at yourself in the mirror and know that you enabled this son of a bitch. And for some people, that's fine. They can live like that because they're just evil people. They're just evil people. So we have to make sure that our job, our part of the bargain, right? Our part of the bargain is to keep chatting about this, to keep running our fat yaps about this, to keep this story in the public eye. Because without us, this story's going away, folks. That's what they want. They want to get rid of this story. They don't want this story to blow up any more than it has. They don't want these documents to be released. None of that. So what we're going to need is a judge that has some character, that has some morals, a judge that's not scared, a judge that's willing to wade into the fray of these rich sons of bitches and start throwing punches of his own or her own. That's what we need. Instead of these jelly backboned judges who are easily swayed and easily bought off. And there's plenty of them, folks. When I say that this system is corrupt, that's what I mean. These judges, we have activist judges running things. We have activists as DAs. We have activists as journalists. This is the problem. There needs to be impartial people to do these sorts of things. But that can't happen anymore because everything is so convoluted. Everything is so divided. Everything's about scoring points. When in reality, what it should be about, very simple, equal justice under the law for everyone. All right, so this article is from the Express, and the headline is, Prince Andrew's main business to be shut down after Epstein scandal. Good on you. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that your business is getting shut down. We're all happy, all right? It's not like you're going to the poorhouse, Prince Andrew. No, but you're not going to the poorhouse. Mummy's going to slide you some money under the table. I'm sure some of your other corrupt tycoons that you always ran with have a few billion stashed away for you somewhere. I'm sure your buddy Jeffrey Epstein probably had a few fazools stashed away for you. Isn't that how it works there, old Princey boy? Isn't that how the nepotism works? Isn't that how you've parlayed just your blood type into all these riches, into all this fabulous lifestyle that you've lived? And now, like Icarus, you flew too close to the sun, my man, and your wings have burned, and you've had a real fall from grace. And down at the bottom are all those people that you stepped on your way to the top. And everybody's waiting, buddy. We're all waiting here on bated breath for you. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI. All right, right to the article. The Pitch Palace project, based at Buckingham Palace, has faced an uncertain future since the Duke of York's car crash NBC Newsnight interview last month, where he attempted to explain his relationship with a convicted sex offender. Trustees have reportedly decided the project has no future, and the directors of its overseas arm have also threatened to resign if the prince does not give up control of his company. The British side of the company is controlled by Prince Andrew's Charitable Trust, but the prince owns the overseas Pitch Palace Global. A source told the Daily Telegraph, Pitch Palace CIC will be wound down. The company belongs to the Prince Andrew Charitable Trust, and the trustees met and decided to close it down. Well, good for them. All right? Good for them. You can't run around and act like you're this big charity, you're involved in all this charity, and you're this big charitable giver and all this other jazz while you're being involved in this sort of stuff. All right? They use their charitable giving to protect themselves from any kind of scrutiny or scorn when it comes to, getting called up on the carpet for their disgusting behavior. Pitch Global is going to carry on, but because of the massive changes that have happened, 3 of the existing directors felt that there was a need for a strategic review, and they decided to step aside by resigning. Good for them, taking a moral stand. Sometimes in life you have to do that. Who would want to be associated with anything Prince Andrew has going on? I mean, really? But Andrew is said to be reluctant to give up control in the overseas sister company of the company, which he owns. This has resulted in Martin Dunnett, a private equity executive, Alex Johnston, an app developer, and Martin Harriman, a telecoms entrepreneur, offering their immediate resignation. So these names, Martin Dunnett, Alex Johnston, and Martin Harriman, are 3 men, or maybe one of them's a woman, Alex Johnson, I'm not sure. But these are 3 people who are taking a moral stand and saying, look, I'm not going to work at this company. I'm not going to work with a guy like Prince Andrew. I'm not going to do it. I don't care. I'll find a new job, whatever it may take, but I am not, listen to me, I am not working with these people. And I'll tell you what, that's great. That's good for them. And it sets a good tone for the rest of the people in the company. Their departure would leave only 2 directors on board. This would include Amanda Thirsk, the Duke's private secretary, and Johan Eliash, a private equity executive. Well, we all know Amanda Thirsk was the lady who suggested that the prince do that interview. So if she's left on the board and she's the brain trust, well, you might be in a little bit more trouble than you thought there, old Handsy Andy, the Prince of Hands, the moron. So when you have that situation occurring, when you have Amanda Thirsk, who was involved in the whole entire escapade of the interview, I don't know about that. A source told the Telegraph Pitch Global will continue, but departing directors feel there was a need for a strategic review. You think? A strategic review, huh? I think it'd be a little more than a strategic review. A second source says there has been an awful lot of navel gazing over the last few weeks. Navel gazing. Some of the stuff the English press writes cracks me up. I love the way the English people talk. I love how they mock. Their mockery cracks me up. And then just some of the terminology is hilarious. Navel gazing. Love it. We've held several meetings and have been waiting for the Duke to make his decision, but it's become increasingly clear that he does not want to go. So they're going to have to force him out. The source added it was an extremely difficult decision for Andrew to make. You ever see the show Succession, folks? All right, hostile takeover of businesses happen all the time by people that are looking to make some more money or people looking to flip the boardroom. So let's see a hostile takeover here of this Pitch Palace. Either that or just shut it completely down. The source added that it was an extremely difficult decision for Andrew to make. The source added they were incredibly proud of everything at Pitch Palace, and that the source added they were incredibly proud of everything at Pitch Palace had achieved, and that almost 1,000 startups it had created over the last 6 years. Oh, so they're proud of that, right? Yeah, we're proud of what we've started over here the last 6 years, but Sick. People are so crazy. I would never be proud of anything I was involved with Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew has rarely been seen since he was interviewed by BBC's Newsnight presenter Emily Maitlis. Viewers were left outraged after he appeared to not show much sympathy for the victims of his former friend Epstein. Epstein died in August while he was awaiting trial for sex trafficking. And Prince Andrew was also subject to ridicule over denying he had sexual relations with Virginia Roberts in 2001, who was 17 at the time. During the interview, Andrew was asked whether he ate, drank, went to Tramp nightclub, and later had sex with 17-year-old Virginia Roberts. He replied, "It didn't happen." Sure it didn't, Andrew. Sure it didn't. After being asked if he remembered dancing at Tramp nightclub, the prince responded, "I was with the children, and I'd taken Beatrice to a Pizza Express in Woking for a party. I suppose sort of 4 or 5 in the afternoon." I mean, really? Sorry I had to read it in my terrible English accent, but that's how it sounds in my head while I read these articles. And he sounds like one of these just complete and utter buffoons. Everything he says is just absolutely ridiculous. Does he really think that anyone is believing this? I guess I have to do it again, because nobody believes you, Prince Andrew. They don't believe you in Washington State. They don't believe you in Mexico. They don't believe you in Texas. They do not believe you in Arizona. They don't believe you in Wyoming, and they don't believe you in North or South Dakota. They don't believe you in New York. They do not believe you in Florida. They don't believe you in Alaska. They do not believe you in Timbuktu. They don't believe you in South Africa. They do not believe you in Israel. They do not believe you in Saudi Arabia. The polar bears in the Arctic North don't believe you. And the penguins in Antarctica certainly don't believe you either. To recap, nobody believes you, you epic lying moron. On the claim that he sweated heavily during an alleged night out with Miss Roberts, he said, "I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what could be described as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War. When I was shot, and it was almost impossible for me to sweat." Almost impossible, or was it impossible? Is it a condition or an almost condition? Which is it, pal? Andrew also revealed he was stepping down from royal duty shortly after the interview. He said in a statement, "It has become clear to me over the last few days that the circumstances relating to my former association with Jeffrey Epstein," no, not your former association just with Jeffrey Epstein, buddy, but the fact that you had sex with a trafficked girl, that might have something to do with it, "has become a major disruption to my family's work and the valuable work going on in the many organizations and charities that I am proud to support." Again, me, I. Therefore, I have asked Her Majesty if I may step back from public duties for the foreseeable future, and she has given her permission. I continue to unequivocally regret my ill-judged association with Epstein. Me. Never any sympathy for the girls, never any empathy for the girls, never a reaching out, hey, what can I do for these girls? What can I do to help? Who can I talk to? I'd like to talk to whoever I need to talk to. Look, let's be real. In 2009, Brad Edwards subpoenaed a whole gangload of people over the whole entire Epstein situation. The only person who responded to those subpoenas was Donald Trump, who talked to Edwards. Right? Why doesn't Prince Andrew do the same thing? If he has nothing to hide, just go and talk to the lawyers, get on record and be done with it. I just don't understand why all these people are hiding, why nobody wants to get on record about any of this if they're innocent. If you're innocent of something like this, would you be running? Or would you be standing up on every single rooftop going ham, going crazy, yelling and screaming how you didn't do it? I know I would be. I would never sit back and just fade away if somebody accused me of something like this. This is the most heinous thing you could be accused of, in my opinion. I would go absolutely, positively bananas if somebody accused me of this and I was Prince Andrew or one of these high-profile guys. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I continue to unequivocally regret my ill-judged association with Jeffrey Epstein. His suicide, allegedly, has left many unanswered questions, particularly for his victims, and I deeply sympathize with everyone who has been affected and wants some form of closure. I can only hope that in time they will be able to rebuild their lives, Of course, I am willing to help any appropriate law enforcement agency with their investigations if required. That is going to be the statement that comes back to haunt him. That statement right there, that last statement, is going to come back and haunt him. Of course, I am willing to help any appropriate law enforcement agency with their investigations if required. Oh, you're required, buddy. We require it. The American people certainly want it as a requirement, and I'm sure the English people do as well at this point. Look, we all know that Prince Andrew is neck deep in the Jeffrey Epstein situation. And you see the result it's having on him. Are we ever going to see the same in America? Is the American press ever going to stand up and go after these people the same way the English press is going after Prince Andrew? I haven't seen it yet, folks. I haven't seen the American press come out with their full court press the way they like to do when they have their teeth into something that they think they can score political points with. Look how, when Acosta was involved in this story, it was front page news. It was everywhere. The second Acosta was gone, the media was gone because they're so deranged at this point. All they can focus on is taking down Donald Trump. And that's neither here nor there for me. I don't even care at this point. It really does not matter to me. I don't care who the president is. I understand that it doesn't even really matter who the president is. As long as we have these sort of actors acting in the fashion that they do and doing things covertly and usurping freedoms and just completely and utterly shitting on the American Constitution and on all of our laws, then it won't matter who the president is. The president's not a dictator. The president isn't a ruler. The president doesn't even have the power to stop these people. Look what's going on. A sitting president is under assault by his own intelligence agencies. Are you kidding me right now? If that doesn't send the fear of God into you, I really don't know what would. And I'd say the same thing. I don't care who the president is. The absolute assault by any intelligence agency looking to overturn an election is absolutely mind-boggling to me. And again, these intelligence agents, these intelligence agencies are the true problem, in my opinion. The presidents, they come and go, folks. Republican, Democrat, it's always the same story, right? It's always the same story. It's like WWF, WWE, I guess it's called now. Sorry. You know, they act like they hate each other in public, and then behind the scenes, they're toasting at their large galas and their huge benefit dinners. Well, at the same time, we can't find any justice. The girls certainly can't find any justice. The girls in this case they haven't had a taste of justice, not even one little taste. The closest they've gotten so far was Epstein being arrested, which was a victory for everybody. And now with Andrew getting the full court press and being basically everyone knowing he's a fiend, that's the only justice that they've received so far. And to me, I don't think it's right. I'm sorry. It's not right. If you're going to raid people's homes for white-collar crimes and you're going to treat people like they're terrorists for, money crimes, then if somebody is a high-profile sex trafficker, I expect them to get the same treatment. I expect the no-knock raid. I expect the door kicked in. I expect CNN being tipped so they could be there so we could see this guy get pulled out in his stupid-ass outfit, his dumb-ass slippers. All right? That's what I wanted to see. But no. Oh, no. Mr. Epstein, like when you land coming home from France, like we're going to arrest you. Is that cool? Is that okay with you, sir? Like, is that fine? Instead of embarrassing him and perp walking him the whole nine, they did it undercover. For what? For what reason? Why? Why does Jeffrey Epstein get afforded that sort of treatment? Is it just his money? Or is there something way, way more sinister occurring? If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. If you'd like to help support the podcast and support our crazy adventures that we're about to be going on, starting off with Santa Fe, you can do that with the GoFundMe link inside of the description box. So just click on that bad boy and do your thing. A little quick update on that, by the way, on Santa Fe. It is getting closer, folks. Each day that rolls by, I am getting more excited, more pumped up to get down there. So we are going to keep it rolling. The train is rolling. All right, everybody. I hope you all have an incredible morning. I know it's Monday, rough. I'm sure a lot of you are off for the holidays. If you are off for the holidays and you're hanging out with your family and you guys are all enjoying yourselves, I hope that you guys have an amazing listen to me, an amazing holiday, because what we deal with on this show is real dark. It's pretty depressing at times. And, I think when the holidays roll around, like Christmas especially, I think it's a time where we should reflect a little bit and be thankful for, the people that we have around us and our family members and our loved ones, because we see how quickly people's lives can be ruined just by one sinister act of somebody else. And I don't know. I never really had the perspective before. This story it's changed. I know it sounds kind of goofy, but this story has changed my life. It's changed the way I think about things. It's changed the way I process information. And it's definitely changed how I perceive people in power. So, all right. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will be back later with an evolution episode and, of course, a daily drop.